In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to upshift and hack the 5 love languages. Hey everyone, welcome to Upshifting with David Barron. I hope all of you are having a great day. I am out at the Reedy Creek Nature Preserve. It's a 1,000-acre nature preserve here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I decided to get out and do some hiking today. And I was just sitting here at the ruins of the Robinson Rock House, just listening to all the nature around me. Behind me I have a hornet buzzing around, and I'm hearing birds all around me. And all these sounds really remind me that there is so much about how they communicate that we don't know about, that we don't understand. Each of the birds chirping have their own language, and they're speaking to each other. And sometimes that language can be aggressive, and sometimes that language can be loving. And it reminds me of how we, as humans, communicate with each other. We have our own language of being aggressive with each other and the tone and action and feeling behind that. But we also have loving language that we use to show each other and ourselves love. And I'd like to discuss with you a book that I've read called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And if you're not familiar with this book, I would recommend you pick it up and read it. Men, if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend that you do. You've probably been in a relationship and your partner has mentioned this book to you, but there's a lot of great things in here that you can use as knowledge to learn about yourself and your partner. And the 5 love languages that he has identified in this book are the words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And each of us have our primary love language and our secondary love language. Primary love language is the one we identify most strongly, and we tend to show love to other people in our primary love language. In reading this book, you're able to identify all the love languages in which love language to best communicate to your partner so they can also feel love. But what I would like to discuss is 3 ways to upshift and hack the 5 love languages. How to take these 5 love languages and take them to the next level. Tip number 3, when you read the 5 love languages, it's a natural tendency for us to read it in a way that we are trying to understand our partner. When you read the 5 love languages, identify who you are. Use it to understand yourself and all aspects of yourself. If you find that you don't identify with words of affirmation at all, that's okay. That's something that you didn't know about yourself and now you do. But don't use it to try to identify your partner or try to fix your partner. Upshifting tip number 2. When you become more familiar with the 5 love languages, begin to introduce them into your self-care practice. Introduce the ones that you're comfortable with and also practice with the ones that you find resistance with. You will find that when you're practicing with those that you have resistance to, you're learning the most about yourself. You're stepping outside of boundaries that your comfort level, and you'll learn a great deal about yourself. When you begin to practice with the 5 love languages, you not only know them, but you also experience them. You also feel them. Also within your self-care practice, when you begin to practice the 5 love languages, you move away from being dependent on other people for your love, because you don't want to get into a codependency with your partner or other people in your life where you need the 5 love languages to feel love for yourself. So the number one tip I want to bring to you about hacking the 5 love languages is often in relationships we are asked what is our primary and what is our secondary, and we think those are the only two that we have access to. When I began to learn how to love myself, understand my self worth, and understand my value, I began to gain access to different areas within me that I didn't have before. And what that helped me do was gain access to all 5 love languages. So I was able to take love languages that were uncomfortable to me and began to feel real love from them. So if acts of service was not one of my love languages, I was very uncomfortable receiving acts of service from people. But as I began to understand my value, my self worth, I felt love when someone did something for me. I understood that I had value and that person was showing me love. It was very, very powerful, and it really changed my life to have full access to everything within me. So now if someone asks me what's my love language, I can say with confidence it's all 5. I have gained access to all 5 love languages, and that is something that you can do as well. So that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed 3 ways to upshift and hack the 5 love languages. But I want to thank all of you for visiting my channel, subscribing, watching the videos, and liking the videos. I really appreciate it, and I'm very grateful for every single one of you. But I look forward to seeing all you guys on the next adventure. Take care. Bye. Upshifting tip number 2. To become more experienced, there's a frog speaking some love languages.